Azamara is a small ship luxury cruise line which operates 4 Renaissance class cruise ships, all of which carry under 700 passengers at full capacity. We sailed aboard Azamara Onward on a Croatia intensive voyage, and we were very surprised with much of what we experienced. This wasn't just our first time cruising with Azamara, but our first time cruising on a ship of such a small size. But the question is, did we enjoy it, and would we go back? Azamara is not your usual cruise line. They fall into the luxury cruise category, and with that in mind you would expect to see some clear differences in service, dining and the overall experience, as you're paying a pretty hefty premium to be on board compared to a mainstream cruise line. Azamara Onward's interior design is uniformed with her other sisters in the fleet, meaning you would be able to easily identify that you're on an Azamara cruise ship even if you've only been on one before. It has this feel of a luxury boutique hotel. It's classy. With the exception of the beautiful lobby, Azamara Onward's decor is pretty neutral and unconfrontational on the eye, with lots of light colours, premium fabrics and dark woods throughout, which pay homage to traditional ocean travel. Azamara Onward is not a ship of wow factors. Her elegance is subtle and refined. Class whispers, it doesn't shout, but is Azamara Onward as classy as she could be? For a ship that is fast approaching 25 years of age, you almost expect there to be some clear visual indicators of the ship's age, particularly on the outer decks. However, it has to be said that the exterior decks of Azamara Onward were immaculate, and on the surface seemed very well maintained. While we liked the interior of the ship, we were quite surprised to see certain areas which did seem a little tired. This ship has been extensively refurbished throughout, but they've missed some small areas which are a little baffling, like the shabby stair nosing which has clearly been on here for some time. In the suites, they have replaced light switches and plug sockets to match the decor, yet with lower grades of accommodation, they haven't. This is the same with stateroom doors, many featured scuffs and scratches which have clearly been there for a long time. And as for parts of the Sanctum spa, with particular reference to the changing rooms and the steam rooms, they need attention urgently. We don't expect to see that sort of disrepair on a budget cruise line, let alone with a luxury cruise line like Azamara. It's no easy task keeping a ship looking spotless, and in many ways Azamara have succeeded. It's just a little odd that they have gone to the effort of refurbishing the ship so thoroughly in some areas, but left out others. This sort of shabbiness on a luxury cruise line is unacceptable, and certainly doesn't match the luxurious image Azamara keenly promote. During our cruise to Croatia and Montenegro, we had a club veranda stateroom on deck 6. The decor was like the rest of the ship, traditional and refined. This stateroom measured around 175 square feet and featured a 40 square foot veranda, both of which are very much on the small size when compared to other ships which sit in the premium and luxury cruise categories. Club veranda staterooms such as this feature 2 single beds which can be converted into a queen size, as well as a single sofa bed in the sitting area, meaning this cabin is able to sleep up to 3 passengers if required. Storage is more than ample for 2 passengers, but if there's 3 to this cabin, it could all get a bit cosy. The beds on this ship are some of the most comfortable we have ever slept in. From the mattress to the pillows, they are exceptionally sumptuous and comfortable, and could give the beds on princess ships a good run for their money. Not only was the cabin comfortable and cosy, but one of the most practical we have ever stayed in. You can expect generous wardrobe space, a decent range of cupboards and drawers about the cabin including in the vanity unit and writing desk, a good selection of light sources to make this cabin feel cosy in the evenings, and as for the power outlets, Azamara Onward must have set a new record for the most amount of sockets in a cruise ship cabin. You have 4 US, 2 European, 1 British, 2 multi-sockets, 2 USB-A ports each side of the bed, and there's the shaver plug socket in the bathroom as well. That's 11 means of power supply. Take it from us, that is quite unprecedented and deserves recognition. All grades of stateroom aboard Azamara Onward include 24-hour room service, daily housekeeping both in the morning and nightly turndown. All cabins feature a safe for storing valuables, a small fridge with minibar, a hairdryer and icy cold air conditioning. All staterooms feature luxurious cotton bed linen and come with luxury bathrobes and slippers. You'll also find that you get fresh cut flowers, a tote bag for you to keep and use ashore, an umbrella, shoe shine service, and you can expect some nightly turn down treats too. As nice as these little touches are, it does seem that Azamara could go a little further if they wanted to, as they do fall a little short against Holland America when it comes to what they offer each stateroom, and Azamara is supposedly the more premium line. All grades of accommodation aboard this ship feature interactive flat screen TVs which allow you to check your cabin statement and get onboard venue information, but that's about it. There aren't any movies on demand, which is another area where Azamara are falling significantly short of the competition. Celebrity, Holland America, Princess, P&O, just 4 of the big cruise lines which all offer complimentary movies on demand to their guests. None of us are booking a luxury cruise to watch films and movies, we get it. But if you ever had to self-isolate in your cabin during a cruise, trust us, you'd soon wish that that facility was there, because if you don't like the handful of US and UK news channels on offer, then it's tough cheddar. Cruise ship bathrooms are usually a good indicator of a ship's age, but the bathrooms aboard Azamara Onward are actually quite decent and quite modern looking. It is, however, one of the smallest bathrooms we have ever seen. We're not even sure if there is room to swing a cat, as the saying goes. You get a tiny shower with a ghastly shower curtain, something we hate to see on any cruise ship, but for a luxury cruise line it is a bit deplorable. And because the shower is so small, you will find that the shower curtain will keep sticking to you, which makes us wince. Additionally, you get a wash basin with foam tap, a large mirror fixed to the bulkhead, a small magnified mirror, a cupboard, some shelving, a shaver plug socket, some bog standard complimentary toiletries and a bar of soap. These unbranded toiletries are another area where Azamara are falling a little short of the competition. On Holland America you are given Elemis, on Cunard you are given Penhaligons, even P&O, which sit firmly in the mainstream cruise category, give White Company toiletries to their guests. And when you go for a haircut at the Sanctum spa and the hairdressers are urging you not to use the shampoo because it's so bad for your hair, we can't help but feel it's about time for Azamara to introduce some premium bathroom hair and skin products so that they can at least rival the competition in this area. Perks and benefits of a club veranda stateroom are the same for both club interiors and club ocean view staterooms. Club interiors are very much on the small size, measuring just 143 square feet or just over 13 square metres. As small as this is, it does match the surface area of inside staterooms on other premium and luxury cruise ships, including Holland America's flagship, Rotterdam. Just like the perks and benefits, the storage in this cabin is exactly the same as what you get in a club veranda stateroom, but if you're not fussed about seeing what's going on outside, this could be the best choice for you. Club Ocean View staterooms are also on the small side, measuring 143 square feet. These cabins may be small, but they're really quite cosy, and the air conditioning is really powerful, so we would consider a Club Ocean View on this ship. When compared to the size of outside cabins on cruise ships operated with similar cruise lines, it's clear just how small they are. If you're looking for something just a little bit more spacious and luxurious, you could always consider an ocean suite, giving you up to 501 square feet of surface area and a 233 square foot veranda. You'll be able to enjoy a spacious living area with double sofa bed, as well as a totally separate master bathroom with ensuite, both of which come with a 55-inch flat-screen interactive TV with basic functionality. These suites feature all marble bathrooms, complete with rainfall shower and plush surfaces. No luxury toiletries in here either, I'm afraid. Ocean suites have a huge dressing room with a vanity unit, which sit alongside an eye-watering amount of closet and wardrobe space. In addition to the perks and benefits you receive with lower grades of stateroom, suite guests receive 240 minutes of Wi-Fi, 1 free bag of laundry service per suite every 7 days, a complimentary dinner at a speciality restaurant, as well as complimentary access to the therapy pool and spa sundeck. Not even butler service with a suite that's nearly double what a club veranda stateroom costs. These additional offerings are feeble. When you have other cruise lines offering suite guests premium drink packages, premium Wi-Fi, exclusive spa decks and solariums, discounted spa treatments, exclusive restaurants and butler service as standard, these 4 little extras almost seem quite insulting. When you are paying the exorbitant premium of having a suite, you need to receive more than some extra surface area and a bag of laundry. In 3 words, must try harder. Food and dining aboard Azamara Onward is certainly one of the key areas which impressed us, and felt very much superior to much of the dining we've enjoyed recently on many other cruise ships. Starting with main dining, the main dining venue aboard this ship is Discovery's restaurant. Located all the way aft of Deck 5, this dining venue allows you to discover the world through dishes and flavours from the countries you visit on your cruise itinerary. Simply turn up between 6 and 9:30 PM and you'll be given the table size of your choosing without any fuss. Certainly none of that virtual queuing nonsense you get with some of the mainstream cruise lines. It's fair to say that the food served in the Discovery's restaurant is some of the best food we have eaten in a main dining room on a cruise ship. Presentation of dishes was clean, food was always well cooked, and you could tell that the galley was using good quality ingredients. The great food was also matched with excellent service. When we arrived at Discovery's restaurant on the very first night, we didn't expect to be welcomed by name without any introductions, and before I could even think of asking whether there was a vegetarian menu available, I was handed one. Whether it be breakfast, lunch or dinner, the overall dining experience at Discovery's is terrific, and based on our own personal experience so far, it is the cruise line to beat when it comes to main dining in our view. That excellent dining experience also feeds through into the buffet on board. Windows Cafe is the buffet style restaurant aboard Azamara Onward and is open for breakfast, lunch and dinner, with menu choices changing each day. Because of the size of the buffet, variety isn't the most substantial we have come across, but the quality of the food we ate was excellent. It also makes a nice change that you get proper orange juice in the mornings. Juice that has actually come from a freshly squeezed orange and not a ghastly Nestle Vitality machine. You can also order freshly made smoothies at the bar in the buffet, which we took advantage of each morning. In the evening, the nationality of food offerings changes. The Indian night was unbelievably good, and could easily rival a curry house found on most UK high streets. We've dined at a few Indian speciality restaurants at sea, whether it be Sindhu with P&O or Kerala with Morella, but this Indian buffet night topped them all. All tables are laid at Windows Cafe, and waiter service is nothing short of exemplary. Food variety isn't the largest we've seen, but the food is amazing and we weren't stuck for choice all week. If you're on a cruise to a warmer climate, the sunset veranda at the very aft makes a meal at this buffet restaurant all the more enjoyable. This is a dining venue we won't be forgetting in a hurry. The patio can also be found on Deck 9, and is Azamara's version of a poolside grill. For lunch, you can grab all your poolside grill favourites, including burgers and hot dogs, as well as fresh salad just the way you like it. You can either dine in, so to speak, at the beautifully laid tables and be waited on, or grab your food and take away. There are also frozen yoghurt and ice cream machines at the patio, with an extensive range of sauces and toppings to make the most perfect ice cream. With the patio so close to the pool and hot tubs, the pool deck offers the most amazing sea days. When it comes to other inclusive eateries aboard Azamara Onward, you have afternoon tea, snacks and late night nibbles available in the living room, something which we feel is a really nice touch, and unlike any other crow's nest style bar we've experienced on a cruise ship so far. You also have the Mosaic Cafe on Deck 5. The comfortable and stylish coffee bar is the place where you can grab your favourite coffee drinks just the way you like it. This casual eatery features sumptuous seating and great views looking out to sea, or you can just marvel at the splendour of the lobby itself. Most drinks such as lattes, cappuccinos and teas are complimentary as part of the included beverages, but there is a list of signature beverages including a Bailey's coffee which are extra unless you have taken out the premium beverage package. Snacks including French pastries and cookies are complimentary with all drinks. There are 3 extra charge dining venues aboard Azamara Onward. The first is Prime C, which is the speciality steakhouse on board. This venue is charged at $30 per person for a 3-course meal, which is a very fair price for a steakhouse when compared to other steakhouses we have tried. You'll find a comprehensive menu of meat dishes, as well as fresh seafood including crab and lobster cakes and Chilean sea bass. There's also a handful of vegetarian courses too. Overall, it was an enjoyable meal, with service as impressive as the food served. As a steakhouse, Prime C is on par with Pinnacle Grill with Holland America, but not quite as good as the Veranda aboard Cunard ships. Definitely worth the cover charge, and we would certainly dine here again the next time we sail with Azamara. Aqualina is the Italian extra charge restaurant on board, which also costs $30 per person for a 3-course meal. You can choose dishes such as the insanely good lobster and grilled shrimp ravioli in a creamy lobster sauce, and the grilled shrimp risotto. The food served here is very good indeed, and serves authentic Italian cuisine using the very best ingredients, which shines through every course. The desserts were also out of this world. Don't go expecting pizza or carbonara pasta on the menu, it's not that sort of place. Also in Aqualina is Chef's Table, the most prestigious dining option aboard Azamara Onward, costing $95 per person for a 7-course menu. This French-inspired dining experience is said to be one of the most luxurious dining experiences at sea, but you need to be the right sort of person that is prepared to try anything that's put in front of you. Needless to say, we are just a bit too fussy. Azamara do offer some pretty enticing dining packages to help save you money. If you're the sort of person that enjoys dining at speciality restaurants, you may want to consider them. All we would say is that you don't need speciality restaurants aboard Azamara Onward, as the food is so unbelievably good in the inclusive dining venues. For those that have seen our videos before, you will know that is something we don't say very often. Entertainment. Okay, it's not very good. The Cabaret Lounge, located forward of Deck 5, is the main entertainment venue on board. The Cabaret Lounge puts on full-stage musical shows, classical musicians and local entertainment from the destinations you are visiting, adding to that destination immersion which Azamara puts so much emphasis on. The shows put on by the Azamara singers and dancers do come across as a bit amateur, particularly if you've been on the likes of Celebrity, where the theatre shows are out of this world. On one evening, we did watch a Croatian dance group perform, which was more entertaining, and we did appreciate absorbing more of that Croatian culture we had experienced in Dubrovnik that day. One of our favourite places aboard Azamara Onward was the Atlas Bar. This is a bar and lounge exclusive to Azamara Onward, and it's certainly one of the nicest little bars we've been to at sea. You have a video wall for entertainment, with musicians playing on it each evening, quirky and different, which we like. The cocktails served here are top notch, but the signature cocktails are not included with the included beverage package. You'll also find that there is a small menu of hot and cold nibbles available, which is another nice touch, even if they do incur an extra charge. But don't worry, the nuts and crisps are complimentary. Other entertainment going on around the ship was basically limited to the onboard music group Caravan, who performed on the pool deck and in the living room each day. It made for easy listening, rather than genuine audible pleasure like the singers you get on Holland America ships. If you've sailed with Holland America, you will know just how sensational that music entertainment is. White Night is something Azamara are renowned for, and it's something everyone needs to experience. It's laid on at the pool deck once per cruise, and it's a really enjoyable night. There is an extensive buffet of international cuisine laid on near the patio, and they place tables and chairs all round the pool deck while singers perform well-known classics. They are the same singers and dancers from the Cabaret Lounge, and there was a few odd moments where they didn't quite hit the notes. But eating amazing food al fresco to a band as you sail away from Montenegro is about as good as it gets on a cruise for us. Let's be honest, people don't book a cruise with Azamara for great entertainment. They do it for the good food, great service, and for that destination immersion which Azamara pride themselves on. Yes, entertainment on Azamara Onward is probably some of the worst we've experienced, but it pales into insignificance when we consider just how good other areas are. Azamara Onward is a quiet ship for quiet people. Daytime activities are confined to taking in a port talk or enrichment class, relaxing in the spa, taking a dip in the pool and hot tubs, or just reading a good book in the sun or in one of the ship's quiet bars and lounges. To be honest with you, a more relaxing way of cruising is what we actually prefer, as we find the hustle and bustle aboard much larger ships a bit overwhelming at times. For us, there is enough to do, and we tend to prefer having a drink and a chat in a bar as opposed to sitting in a theatre anyway. But if you are somebody that prefers the larger cruise ships and all the impressive entertainment and wow factors that come with them, you could find you're a bit bored at times aboard Onward. Children, how would they fare aboard Azamara Onward? We wouldn't advise taking children on an Azamara cruise full stop. There are no children's clubs, no activities for children, and no programs to keep them amused. With the exception of the pool, hot tubs and some board games in the living room, that is the extent of what this ship offers for younger people. If you're looking for a premium cruise experience but with all those activities and facilities to keep children amused, maybe consider a cruise with MSC aboard one of their newer ships which have MSC Yacht Club. This would offer you the best of both worlds, but it does mean cruising on a huge ship. We've touched on it briefly, but how good is the service aboard Azamara Onward? In a word, fantastic. It is some of the most phenomenal service we've experienced at sea. Fast, efficient and highly personable, which we value. Bar service on the pool deck is super quick and was always friendly. Within just one day, a waiter became familiar with our drink preferences. Service in both inclusive and extra charge restaurants was faultless. With the exception of Holland America, we can't recall going on a ship where crew was so friendly and outgoing. It honestly felt as though nothing was too much effort for them. Service across the board was friendly and efficient aboard Azamara Onward, and it's fair to say that both Azamara and Holland America have set a very high bar when it comes to service in our view. Does Azamara offer good value for money? We paid £4,800 for this Croatia-intensive 7-night cruise, which included flights with British Airways, transfers, gratuities, 120 minutes of complimentary Wi-Fi, $800 onboard credit and a basic drinks package which far excels many of the classic drink packages offered with many of the mainstream cruise lines. We got what we paid for, no question. So yes, Azamara offer exceptional value for money when we weigh up what was included and how good the food and service had been on this cruise. All cruise fares come with a basic beverage package as standard, and it will prove sufficiently comprehensive for most people. To show you just some of the beverages available as part of your cruise fare, you can order 5 different beers, boutique wines with 2 reds, 2 white, a rosé and sparkling wine changing on a near daily basis. These wines are usually chosen to match the places you are visiting during your cruise, which adds to that destination immersion once again, which we like. There are 9 different spirits available from Smirnoff vodka through to Beefeater gin. More than 18 different cocktails, but waiters were always happy to make a cocktail that didn't feature on the menus as long as it used the included spirits, otherwise there would be an extra charge. The standard package included non-alcoholic cocktails including the berry banana colada, and you get canned and fountain soft drinks as standard. This is more than generous and suited us perfectly, but if you consider yourself as a bit of a booze snob and you fancy a broader menu of choice, the premium beverage package costs $15.95 per person per day and includes a huge selection of beverages in addition to what is covered in your cruise fare. If you feel that you still need more, for an extra $21.95 per person per day, you can upgrade to the Ultimate Beverage Package, which is one of the most comprehensive drink packages at sea, giving you huge flexibility when it comes to ordering drinks. And regardless of whether you have a drink package or not, you won't be charged for minibar in your stateroom. Thank God, a cruise line with some common sense you've been hard to find. Something we usually grumble about on a cruise is the Wi-Fi. Now, passengers do get some complimentary Wi-Fi as part of their cruise fare, but 120 minutes isn't going to last you very long. We upgraded to the unlimited package, which gave us the fastest Wi-Fi package option and cost $19.95 per person per day. And it worked perfectly. No issue loading web pages, making WhatsApp calls, streaming videos on Netflix. It's a Wi-Fi service on a cruise ship that works like a dream. I know, we were shocked too. But if you're somebody that likes staying connected but don't wish to pay out money for Wi-Fi, here's a tip. Check with your mobile phone provider that you have coverage for the countries you are visiting during your Azamara cruise, and take advantage of the long stays in port which Azamara are known for, and the few sea days which feature in their itineraries. If you do this, you might be able to avoid taking out a Wi-Fi package altogether. This was our first cruise with Azamara, and to be honest, we were very impressed overall. The disrepair and maintenance issues about the ship are inexcusable. We don't think there are enough perks with having a suite, entertainment is a bit mediocre, and that shower curtain is gross. But putting all that aside, we had a great time. Fantastic food, comfortable and practical accommodation, incredible ports made even better by all the information Azamara give you and the longer stays in port, and with regards to service, top notch. Azamara are one of the cheaper luxury cruise lines out there, and you need to factor that in when reviewing Onward as a whole. When important elements such as dining, service and value for money are so strong, they compensate for the handful of niggles we did have. A manky shower curtain is not going to stop us from doing another cruise with Azamara. In fact, we've already booked another one.